है बादा मस्त बादा आशा में आमदियत है बादा मस्त बादा आशा में आमदियत चलता है दौर मीना वजह में आमदियत चलता है दौर मीना.
Yeah, the drive wasn't too bad. These guys didn't make it any easier though. If I had to estimate how much driving I did, I'd say around 20-ish hours. Two of the guys live up in North Haven, so I just drove up to North Haven, which takes about an hour for me. Then I drove down to Maryland, which practically took the whole day. And then from there, well, we stopped in Bronx on the way, but then from there, we went to Maryland straight.
तिश्ना लबों की खातिर हर समत घूमते हैं थामे हुए सुबुए गुल्फा में.
So we started our trip off with helping out Mohtamim Sanat-o-Tijarat, Bilal Ahmed Sahib, basically with reorganizing the entire MKA store inventory, kind of like counting up all the quantities and fixing it all up so we could put it back on the website and people could start buying again. Now you can see in the chat, the link has been sent, everything's up. You can see some of our guys were used for modeling the pictures and stuff, so that was pretty cool. Then after that, we went to meet with life devotee Waqf-e-Arzi, Sayyid Hamza Ahmed. So he works in the finance department in Merkaz, and basically we went over the finance system with him a bit. He explained what Waqf-e-Zindagi really is and like how the everyday life of a Waqf is, kind of his schedule basically. Then after that, we had a session with Naib Sadr Mahmood Kauser. He told us about his kind of entry to Jamia, throughout his Jamia years, his beginning years after becoming a Murabbi. Really, really interesting stuff, like mind-boggling. So we basically ended the day off with volleyball, namaz, dinner.
जब दहरियत के दम से मसमूम थी फिजाएं फूटी तिजा बजा जब इल्हाद की वबाएं.
So for day 2, we worked with Naib Sadr MK Ashfaq Khan. We basically just listened to audiobooks and then edited out the parts that were either mistakes or repeats or whatever else. After that, we went to Jummah and then we hung out with Sadr Sahib. He basically talked us through the MKA office holder positions from Sadr Sahib to Naib Sadr Sahib down to the Qaid Sahib and why it's important to have a communication link between them. After that, he took us to his farm. He introduced us to his goats, his peacocks, and his chickens, and the guinea fowls as well. And after he introduced us, he took his chickens out. He's like, all right, that's a good enough introduction. Now you guys round these guys up. And there's this one guinea fowl that kept running away, I remember. And that took a while to round up. After that, we went to go play volleyball with Sadr Sahib as well. And then after that, we had a session with Naib Sadr Intizam Ali Sahib, where he basically talked us through different challenges that may arise from different office positions and how to deal with them. So overall, alhamdulillah, day 2 was a good day. It was a good day.
Khuddam Ahmadiyat, Khuddam Ahmadiyat, Khuddam Ahmadiyat.
On the 3rd day of our trip, we had a tour of the MTA with Murabbi Umar Farooq Saab. He discussed how MTA works, how we're connected to MTA in UK. After that, we went with Mohtamim Muqami, Najib Chaudhry. We did house visits and we checked up on different members and how they're doing overall. After that, we had a session with Naib Sadr Usman Ambo. We basically just talked about Rishta Nata and how to balance Jama'at work as your life goes on.
ज़ोरे दुआ दिखाए खुदा में अहमदियत ज़ोरे दुआ दिखाए खुदा में अहमदियत.
So on day 4 of our Waqf-e-Arzi trip, we had a Sobat Salihin session with General Secretary Mukhtar Mali Saab of USA. He talked about many of his experiences in Pakistan and with Khilafat. Next, we drove down to Mashhad Mubarak in Northern Virginia. We toured the Mashhad with Regional Qaid Saab, Ibrahim Chaudhary, And then after that, we went out to grab coffee with former Naib Sadr MKA, Bilal Sahib, where we talked about various things, their experiences serving Sadr Khuddamul Ahmadiyya. And to end off the day, we had a session with Mohtamim Sanat-o-Tijarat, where he talked about his journey to studying Arabic in college and how he's a pre-med and doing his residency currently.
मुर्गान खुश लहन को लौटाए फिर वतन को खुदा में आमदियत लौटाए फिर वतन को खुदा में आमदियत 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 खुदा में आमदियत.
Originally we were planning to leave, but we inshallah planned to make a stop at Bagh Ahmed. We saw it for the first time. We met with Mohtamim Sanat-o-Tijarat. We helped him do a lot of stuff. There was some stuff remaining from their East and Muqami regional Ijtima. So some of it was basically going around, picking up any trash, any tarps, any items that were used at the Ijtima, just taking them all, either throwing them up or going to the shed and replacing everything. That same storage container had to be cleared out, kind of organized up because it was just a mess after Ijtima. They also finally got a well, some running water. So we had to test the water and send water samples to the lab. We also had to kind of do a mini site survey, see what current needs there were. For example, cutting the grass ASAP because it was getting really tall, and then any future needs that might come up. After that, we left, headed for home, but our trip didn't end just yet. We had to have a session with Rahman Nasir, Mohtamim Additional Tarbiyat Rich Sanata Secretary Sahib, and he kind of gave us a really cool overview of like just the experiences with Khilafat of like not just himself but like tons of people, and it was really helpful to like hear about all these things. Is very inspiring. Just hearing all the experiences that people have had with Khilafat, and it motivates us as well.